Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you VasanthiMā's episode number 105, titled Luxury of Love and or Love of Luxury. It's a navagraha kriti, one of the 9, in fact the 8th being sung by VasanthiMā, and this is on the planet Venus in external diagnostics. But internally, it is eyeing potency of latency. More on it later on. The song is Sri Śukra bhagavantam in rāgaṁ paras, also known as paraju, and tāḻaṁ aṭa. The language is our favorite Sanskrit, and the composer is our favorite Sri muddu- svāmi dīkṣitar, who has composed the other navagraha kritis as well, though some attribute the Rahu and Ketu kritis to his students. Dīkṣitar, as you know, lived between 1775 and 1835. The protagonist of this song is our own prosperously effulgent, omnipotent Venetian self, to resurrect, navigate, and guide even our latent, that is tamasic energies. As far as the external location is concerned, because I already told you the internal location is our anahata chakra or the heart chakra, the external location was lauded in 10 verses of the 6th Tirumurai by one of the preeminent of the 63 or 63 Nayanmars, the great Shaivite saints, namely Appar, also known as Tirunavukkarasar, is this Venetian consecration at the Agnishwarar Karpagambal Tirukkovil, temple at Kanjanur in Tamil Nadu, Bharat. The theme of the song is that the BMIs, in other words, the body, mind, and intellect's continual cognition of our own prosperously effulgent, omnipotent Venetian self, which is resurrecting, navigating, and guiding even our dead, latent energies. Of course, it is being rendered by VasanthiMā with all of our childlike devotion, with advaitic insights via yours spiritually, Professor D.H., alias Weekly Dose of Vitamin D, here and now, crisply and cryptically ushering in sophisticated technical terms of immense significance. This song is a genuine astrologer's delight and a fake one's nightmare too. And genuineness in the case of astrology is multi-pronged. An astrologer is required to be 1. Selfless, 2. Spiritual, 3. Scientific, 4. Artistic, and 5. A genius. These are facets of Śukra too, being the offspring of our ability to perceive everything unscaled and as it is. Literally, the doubly great seer Bhrigu Maharishi, the pioneer of predictive astrology. In fact, the pioneer of predictive astrology via its, or if you would have his compilation for universal welfare, Bhrigu Samhita. By the way, Śukra also happens to be the offspring of the source of poetry, Kavyamata, whose illusory existence was abruptly terminated by our own all-pervasive omnipresence or everythingness, Vishnu, which is thus cursed by our doubly great perceptivity, Bhrigu, to undergo the same pangs of separation from one's love as experienced eventually in its cold appearance as our pleasant duty consciousness, the stoic Sita-Rama. The event associated with this song today is that this video's recording date, September 7th, 2022, turned out to be Vamana Jayanti, closely associated with śukr-ācāryā. Indeed, Śukra's, or rather our self-potency's, optical singularity was caused by our dwarfing minimalism, alias Vamana, in an optimal effort to clear constraints in its paradoxical transformation to maxima, thus demonstrating the derivative oneness of extrema, and is in fact mentioned specifically in the song itself. Though planned for a release 4 weeks ago, this episode on Venus, alias Śukra, associated with marriage matters, strangely postponed itself to a Onam week recording on September 7th, 2022, and thus inadvertently turned out to be VasanthiMā's 52nd wedding anniversary special, dedicated to Papaji Master, Dr. Sampath Kumar Harur Vishwanathan, who gently left his mortal coils on August the 10th, 2019, exactly 4 weeks prior to their Golden Jubilee 50th anniversary, slated for September 7, 2019. Fridays are named after our Venetian self, Venus, and which better Friday for the song's release than during the ongoing Matru-Pitru Paksha, a fortnight dedicated to dead ancestors, considering our inherent potency, śukr-ācāryā's primordial expertise in raising the dead with with the knowledge of Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. This is, of course, an allusion to our own ability to shift from the erroneous body, mind, intellect consciousness to the self-consciousness, to recognize that we are the Atma, we are the Paramatma. A trip from ephemeral mortality to eternal immortality thus involves a mere change in reference, frame, or perspective. It could happen instantaneously, yet it is so challenging for the mind to accept this obvious reality and to zero out itself, its non-existence. And that's why the need for sadhana. May VasanthiMā's rendition of Sri Shukra Bhagavantam inspire us further to take up that challenge right here, right now. The melody of this song is explicitly conveying the nuances of decor and devotion, that is Shringara Bhakti Rasa, suiting Venetian grandeur, surpassing time and time zones, is the choice of the song's melody, rāgaṁ paras or paraju, which is 15th Melakarta Maya Madhava Gaula Janya, with a metaphysical ascension or arohanam of sa, third ga, first ma, pa, first da, third ni, and sa. The physical descension or avarohanam is sa, third ni, first da, pa, first ma, third ga, first re, and sa. The rhythm is atatāḻaṁ.
Namaste. Sri Śukr bhagavantam chintayami santatam. Sri Śukr bhagavantam chintayami santatam. Sakala tattvanyam Śukr pallavi daitya itopadesha keshavakadakshaikanetram kiritadaram tāvaлагатram keshavakadakshaikanetram kiritadaram tāvaлагатram. Sri Śukr bhagavantam chintayami santatam. Sakala tattvanyam. Sri Vimshati Vatsaro Dasha Vibhagam Ashtavargam Kavim Kalatra Karakam Ravini Jana Guru Vairinam Navamcha Oratri Kanadi ओराद्रि काणादि वर्गोत्तमा वसर समये वक्रोचनीश स्वक्षेत्र वरकेन्द्र मूल त्रिकोणे त्रिंशांश षष्ट्यं सैरावतांश पारिजातांश गोपुरांश राजयोग कारकं राज्यप्रदं गुरुकुगमुदं त्रिंशांश षष्ट्यां सैरावतांश पारिजातांश गोपुरांश राजयोगकारकं राजप्रदं गुरुकुगमुदं श्री शुक्र भगवन्तं चिन्तयामि सन्ततम्.
Let's get on to the pallavi. This song's macrocosmic refrain, and I'll provide to you the advaitic insights for it. Starts off saying, Shri Shukra Bhagavantam Chintayami Santatam. What it means is, our reality as the prosperously effulgent and omnipotent self-divinity is worthy of the BMI's continual cognition. Sakala Tattvajñam, our self is aware of all philosophies, eventually leading to the ultimate wisdom that thou art. Tattvam Asi. That is the real Tattvajñam, or the real Tattva. Next, we move on to the anupallavi, that is the song's microcosmic refrain. We finished the macrocosmic refrain. Now we come to the microcosmic refrain, and I'll provide the advaitic insights to that too. Hey Shukra Bhagavan, the body, mind, and intellect BMI appeals to our self's potency, which inherently possesses all 6 prerequisite qualities that define the concept of God. Māā-bharani BMI seeks our self's insurance policy ASAP, as soon as possible. Vrisha-tuladhisha, our potent self, assumes ownership of the bullish yet balanced zodiacal treasures Taurus and Libra, respectively, which are but cosmic images of our own subtle, unstruck heart, Anahata Chakra. Daitya Hitopadesha, even our otherwise self-destructive lethargy, laziness, procrastination, tamas, also known as Daitya or Asura, is transformed into rejuvenating relaxation by our potent selves, that is Shukra's welfare-oriented Hita, intimate Upa presence, Desha. Shukra Hitopadesha, welfare-oriented intimate presence as sage counsel. Next we move on to the madhyama kāla sahityam within the anupallavi, that is in the accelerated medium speed rendition to follow the body, mind and intellect BMI continually cognizes our self's potency, that is Keshava Katakshaika Netram, pinpointed single-eyed focus, thanks to universal grace of hair rising Kesha Ava duality, hair rising duality, dwarf giant Vamana Vikrama, perspectively showcasing all short-term losses as blessings in disguise, stepping stones towards long-term gains. Short-term losses are in reality long-term gains. Kiritadharam, our self, adorns infinite responsibility or the ability to respond, signified by a crown. Dhavala-gatram, our formless self, takes on an all-encompassing form, that is the summum bonum, integral of all colors, of course white. Done with the anupallavi, we move on to the caraṇam, or the foundational basecamp's footnote, and again I'll provide to you advaitic insights for it. Vimshati Vatsarodu Dasha Vibhagam, in the BMI's 12-decade cycle, our self's immaculate potency presides over two of the decades out of the 12, a special fraction, 20 out of 120 years. Ashtavargam, our permanent unified self's 8 transitory denominations, unity projecting diversity. diversity. Kavim kalatra karakam, our self's poetic indulgence, not only to imagine two out of one, but to partner their BMIs for life as spouses. Ravi nirjara guruvairinam, to render the entertaining multi-role game of life even more dramatic. Our self's potency takes on its own solar spirit, ageless martial arts, and Jovian wisdom as adversaries. Battle of the Titans indeed. Yet, as the master of all contradictions, our potent self, Shukra, optimally peaks in strength in the Piscean treasures of our ancient wisdom. Yes, Venus is exalted in Pisces. Navamsha hora drekanadi, pursuing unity in diversity, further into harmonic DN divisions such as the 9th, 2nd, and 3rd for matrimonial, monetary, and peer partnerships, respectively. Bhargotamavasara samaye, optimally configured instant of Vakrocha Nicha, in retrograde motion, exalted and debilitated. Svakshetra, or occupying and consuming self-owned field resources. Varakendra, blessed to be in a quadrant from the ascendant, that is either 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th. Moola Trikone, or in its own foundational triangular spot of preeminence. Then the Caraṇam also has its own medium speed lyrics, madhyama kāla sahityam. Trimshamsha shashtyamsha, the D30 harmonic subconscious evils and D60 harmonic supraconscious past lives. Note evils and lives are anagrams. Airavatamsha, amongst royal prowess gradations, that is Vaisheshika Amshas, on a scale of 10, whether once endowed with one of the highest possible score of 9 out of 10, that is Airavatamsha, via self-illuminating majesty, or Parijatamsha, the lowest possible 1 out of 10, via mere angelic birthright alone, Gopuramsha, or the slightly better towering divisions, 3 out of 10, Rajayoga Karakam, the ultimate leveler is regal oneness. Whether you have a score of 1 out of 10, 9 out of 10, or 3 out of 10, that is Airavatamsha, Parijatamsha, or Gopuramsha, your Raja Yoga Karakam. For Makara Rasi, for example, Venus is the Raja Yoga Karaka. The ultimate leveler is regal oneness, causation, ourself as expressed in the spirit of Prime Minister Modi ji's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas. Rajya Pradam, responsibility provider, ourself as alluded to 2 millennia ago in the sword of Damocles adage, with great power comes great responsibility. Made viral more recently by Spider-Man, of course, but originally it was Damocles. Guru Guha Mudam, Gu removing inner cave delighter, and that's ourself. Aum Shri Shukra Bhagavantam. Aum Adidevata Pratyadidevata Sahitaya Shukrāya Namaha. Shukraha Sukam, Shukraha Sukam, Shukraha Sukam. Jai Hind, folks.